When we suffer, we often look for something to hold on to. It can be a memory, a person, a belief, or even a hope. We hold on because we feel lost without it. It gives us a sense of safety, something that feels solid in a world that always changes. But have you ever asked yourself, why do I need to hold on so tightly? Many times it is fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of not being enough. Fear that life will not go as we wish. These fears grow from our deep desire to control what happens around us. We believe that if we just try hard enough, we can keep pain away. In Buddhism, we see that this holding on is the beginning of suffering. The more tightly we grip, the more we feel pain when things change or disappear. And everything changes. This is the nature of life. Nothing stays the same, not even for a moment. That is why holding on becomes a heavy burden. Sometimes we think we are strong because we do not let go. But true strength often looks different. It is quiet. It does not need to fight or hold on. It allows life to move, like clouds across the sky. To understand why we hold on is the first step. We must look kindly at ourselves without judgment. We can begin to see that what we truly need is not control, but trust. Trust that even without holding on, we will be okay. And that is the doorway to peace. Many people believe that they must control everything in their lives. We plan carefully, make goals, and work hard to keep things just the way we want. It gives us a feeling of power and safety, but this control is not real. It is an illusion, like trying to hold water in your hands. Think about the weather. You cannot stop the rain from falling, or the wind from blowing. In the same way, we cannot control how people feel, what they say, or what the future will bring. Still, we try. And when things do not go as planned, we feel stress, anger, or sadness. This does not mean we should do nothing. It is good to be responsible, to care, and to make wise choices. But problems begin when we believe that we can make life obey our will. We suffer not because life is hard, but because we expect it to be different. Letting go of control does not mean we give up. It means we understand that we are part of something larger. We are like a leaf on a great river. We can choose how we move, but we cannot stop the river from flowing. There is deep peace in accepting this truth. When we stop fighting against the world, we begin to feel lighter. We open space in our hearts for what is real, not what we imagine. And slowly, we learn to live with more ease. True peace does not come from control. It comes from knowing that we do not need it. Sometimes, when people hear the word emptiness, they feel afraid. They imagine a cold, dark place with nothing inside. They think it means life has no meaning or value. But in Buddhist thought, emptiness does not mean nothingness. It means freedom. Emptiness is the idea that nothing exists on its own. Everything is connected, always changing, and depends on many causes. A flower cannot grow by itself. It needs soil, water, sunlight, and time. In the same way, your thoughts, your feelings, even your sense of self, are not fixed. They rise and fall like waves on the ocean. This can sound strange. We like to think that there is something solid to hold on to, but the truth is, everything is open and flexible. This is not a reason to be sad. It is a reason to be at peace. If nothing is fixed, then pain, worry, and fear can also change. They are not permanent. They do not define us. When we understand emptiness, we become less afraid to let go. We no longer need to protect every part of ourselves or our lives. We begin to see that we can live more freely, with less fear of loss. Emptiness is not empty. It is full of potential, like a quiet space where something new can grow. It gives us the chance to meet life freshly, without old ideas or heavy stories. It invites us to experience the world as it truly is, not as we wish it to be. This kind of freedom is gentle. It does not shout, but it can change everything. Imagine you are holding something very tightly, a rope, for example. The longer you hold it, the more your hand begins to hurt. But when you slowly open your fingers, the pain begins to ease. In the same way, our hearts suffer when we hold too tightly to ideas, feelings, or people. When we loosen our grip, something begins to shift. At first, it may feel strange. We are used to holding on. Letting go can feel like losing something important. But as we begin to release, even a little, we notice space opening inside us. That space is not empty, it is peaceful. Letting go does not mean we stop caring. It means we stop clinging. We allow life to change, because it always will. We allow people to be who they are, not who we want them to be. We allow ourselves to rest, even when we don't have all the answers. When we stop gripping so hard, we start to notice things we could not see before. A soft breeze, the kindness of a stranger, the quiet beauty of the present moment. These things were always there, but our tight hands and busy minds made them hard to feel. Letting go also brings lightness. We carry fewer burdens. We stop trying to control every detail. And slowly, we begin to trust life a little more. We find that we can breathe more deeply. We smile more easily. We become less afraid. In this gentle opening, we are not weaker. We are wiser. We are no longer ruled by fear, but guided by calm. Many people think that letting go means failure. They believe it is something weak people do when they cannot win. But this is not true. Letting go is not giving up. It is a choice. It is a quiet strength that comes from deep understanding. When we let go, we are not saying that something does not matter. We are saying that we no longer want to carry pain that does not help us. We are not turning away from life. We are turning toward it with clearer eyes. There is a big difference between giving up and letting go. Giving up comes from hopelessness. It says, I cannot do anything. But letting go comes from clarity. It says, I see what is no longer needed. This is a very different place inside the heart. Think of a tree in autumn. It lets go of its leaves, not because it is weak, but because it is time. The tree knows that winter is coming. It knows that new life will grow again. In the same way, we must sometimes release things so that something new can begin. Letting go takes courage. It asks us to face our fears, to step into the unknown, but it also brings relief. We are no longer fighting what cannot be changed. We stop using all our energy to hold the past in place. This is not loss, it is a return to what is simple, true, and alive in this very moment. When we let go wisely, we do not fall, we rise. Life is always moving. The world turns, the seasons change, our bodies age, and our thoughts come and go. Nothing ever stays still on the outside. But inside, we can find something different, a quiet place, a stillness that does not move, even as life continues. This stillness is not the same as doing nothing. You can be walking, working, or even facing a challenge, and still feel calm inside. It is like the center of a spinning wheel. The outside turns quickly, but the center stays steady. We often think we must stop everything to feel peace. But the truth is, peace can live inside movement. The key is not to fight the motion of life, but to stay centered as it happens. We do not need to escape the world. We need to meet it with a quiet heart. When we let go of trying to control every movement, we start to feel this stillness. It is always there, waiting. It is not something we must build. It is something we return to, a natural part of who we are. This kind of stillness helps us to see clearly. We stop reacting quickly. We respond with care. We make fewer mistakes. We feel less pulled by every small change around us. Even in busy moments, we carry peace within us. Letting go is what allows this stillness to appear. When we release tension, expectations, and fear, space opens. In that space, we can rest, even if the world around us does not. True stillness is not the end of movement. It is the heart of it. There is a quiet kind of pain that many people carry. It is not from an injury or illness. It comes from holding on too long, holding on to old stories, regrets, anger, or dreams that no longer fit our lives. This pain can live in the body, in the heart, and in the mind. And often, we do not even notice it until it becomes too heavy. Sometimes we hold on because we think we must. We tell ourselves, "I can't let this go. It's part of who I am." Or we fear that if we let go, we will forget or lose something precious. But the truth is, we do not honor the past by carrying it forever. We honor it by learning from it and then continuing our journey. Pain grows when we resist change. We try to keep things the same, even when they are no longer right for us. This resistance creates stress, sadness, and even anger. It is like wearing shoes that are too small. The longer we keep them on, the more we hurt. Letting go is not about forgetting. It is about healing. It is giving ourselves permission to move forward. Sometimes this means feeling the pain first, gently, honestly, without judgment. Only then can we release it. When we hold on too long, we carry more than we need. But when we begin to let go, even a little, we feel lighter. We make space for new growth, and we begin to understand that the past does not need to control our future. The pain of holding on is real, but so is the peace that comes from letting go. Our lives can become very full. We fill our days with tasks, worries, thoughts, and goals. We collect things, ideas, and even relationships that we believe we need. But sometimes, in all this fullness, we forget to ask a simple question: what truly matters? Letting go is not only about release, it is also about making space. When we let go of what is not needed, we create room for what is important, things that bring real meaning and quiet joy. Think of a small room filled with furniture. If there is no space to move, we feel trapped. But when we clear the room, even just a little, we can breathe again. In the same way, when we let go of the unnecessary weight we carry inside, we find freedom. We discover clarity. This space is not empty in a sad way. It is open and welcoming. It invites deeper connection with ourselves, with others, and with life as it is. We begin to see what we were too busy to notice before. A kind word, a moment of stillness, a breath that feels fresh and alive. When we stop chasing everything, we can focus on what matters most. Not the loud, bright things that pull our attention, but the quiet truths that live in the heart. Letting go is an act of trust. It says, "I believe that what is truly valuable will remain." And often it does. Love stays, kindness stays, peace grows stronger. By letting go, we do not lose. We simply make space for what is real and for what has been waiting for us all along. Desire is a strong force in human life. We want comfort, success, love, and many other things. Wanting itself is not bad, but when desire takes control of us, it leads to restlessness and pain. We always feel like something is missing, like we are not complete unless we get what we want. This feeling creates a cycle. We chase one thing, then another and another. Each time we hope it will finally bring peace. Sometimes we do get what we want, but the peace does not last. Soon, a new desire appears. The mind stays busy, never satisfied. Letting go of desire does not mean we stop caring or feeling. It means we stop believing that our happiness depends on always getting what we want. We begin to see that real freedom is not found in more things, but in fewer attachments. This freedom is quiet. It does not come from outside. It comes from within, when we no longer follow every desire like a shadow. We learn to pause, to ask, do I really need this? Or am I just afraid to be without it? When we stop feeding every want, we start to notice a deeper peace, a kind of joy that is not tied to gain or loss. We become more present, more open, more grateful for what we already have. Desire will always come and go, but we can learn to sit beside it without being pulled. This is not cold or empty. It is full of ease. In this way, letting go of desire is not a loss. It is a return to the freedom that was always inside us. In the world today, there is so much noise. People speak quickly. Messages come all the time. We are taught to speak our thoughts, to explain, to answer, to react. But silence also has a voice, and sometimes it speaks more clearly than words. Silence is not just the absence of sound. It is a space where we can listen, deeply. When we become quiet, we begin to hear what is really happening inside us. We notice thoughts we ignored, feelings we pushed away, and truths we did not want to face. Letting go is deeply connected to silence. When we stop trying to explain, defend, or control everything with words, something soft appears. We begin to see with new eyes. We allow life to simply be, without judgment or noise. In silence, we are not empty. We are open. This openness brings understanding, not the kind that comes from thinking hard, but the kind that rises gently when the mind is still. A quiet kind of knowing. We may fear silence at first. It can feel strange or lonely. But if we stay with it, we begin to feel its kindness. We feel how it holds us without asking for anything. We realize that we do not need to speak to be whole. We do not need to explain our value. In this way, silence becomes our teacher. It shows us how to let go of noise, of pressure, of the need to always respond. It invites us to rest, to listen, and to remember who we are beneath all the words. Sometimes, the deepest wisdom is found in the quietest moments. Many of us spend our lives wishing things were different. We look at the past and say, if only that had not happened. We look at the present and say, this is not how it should be. And we look at the future with worry or hope, trying to change what has not yet come. This creates tension inside us, a quiet struggle. We fight against reality, trying to shape it into something else. But the more we resist, the more we suffer. Letting go begins with acceptance, not with giving up, but with seeing things as they truly are. Acceptance is not saying that everything is perfect. It is saying, this is what is here, right now. It is choosing to stop the fight, even for a moment. When we accept what is, we stop wasting energy on what we cannot change. We become more present. We begin to work with life, instead of against it. This opens the door to peace. Acceptance is not cold. It is gentle and wise. It does not close the heart. It opens it. We can still feel, still care, still act. But our actions come from clarity, not from fear or anger. It is not always easy to accept painful things. But even then, we can soften our grip. We can say, this hurts, and still, I will stay with it. In that quiet staying, something begins to shift. We find strength we didn't know we had. Letting go through acceptance does not change the world outside, but it changes the world within. And that change brings peace, not because everything is perfect, but because we are no longer at war with what is. From a young age, many of us are taught to strive, work harder, try more, push forward. We are told that effort leads to success, and that resting means falling behind. But there is another kind of strength, a gentle strength, that comes when we stop striving. Non-striving does not mean doing nothing. It means not forcing. It means acting without pressure, without the constant need to prove or achieve. It is like planting a seed. You water it, care for it, and give it sun, but you cannot force it to grow faster. Growth has its own rhythm. When we always strive, we become tired. We feel we are never enough. There is always more to chase, more to fix, more to become. But when we let go of striving, we start to feel what it's like to simply be, to breathe without rushing, to walk without racing. This does not make us lazy. In fact, we may become more present, more focused, and more kind. Our actions come from calm, not from stress. We are not pushing against life, we are moving with it. Letting go of striving brings peace. We learn to trust the process. We learn that rest is not failure, that stillness is not weakness, that just being alive, right now, is already enough. The strength of non-striving is soft, but steady. It carries us through difficulty without force. It teaches us that we can do our best, and then let go of the result. In this way, we are free. Sometimes the strongest thing we can do is to stop pushing, and to simply allow life to unfold. Life is like a river. It moves, always, sometimes slowly, sometimes fast, sometimes clear, sometimes muddy, but it never stays still. It carries everything: joy, sorrow, love, loss. And like a river, life cannot be held in one place. It must be allowed to flow. Many people try to stop the river. They try to hold on to moments, to people, to feelings. But the tighter we hold, the more we suffer. Water slips through our fingers. Time keeps moving. Change is part of life's nature. When we understand this, we begin to live differently. We stop trying to build a dam around our hearts. We stop fighting the current. Instead, we learn to float, to move with life, not against it. This does not mean we give up control completely. We can still choose how we respond. We can still steer our little boat. But we do so with respect for the river's flow. We do not demand that it stop or turn back. Letting go is like opening our hands in the water. We trust that the river will carry us where we need to go. We trust that we can face what comes without holding on to what has passed. There is great peace in this way of living. We feel more alive, more connected. We begin to see beauty even in the parts of life we once feared. The river flows, and so do we. We do not need to hold everything. We only need to move with care, with awareness, and with an open heart. And in doing so, we discover that we are not lost. We are part of the river itself. Letting go is not something we do once. It is a way of living. A gentle path we walk each day, with awareness and care. Some days, it feels easy. Other days, it feels impossible. But each step, no matter how small, brings us closer to peace. We let go of the past, not to forget, but to be free. We let go of control, not to give up, but to find trust. We let go of fear, not to be careless, but to live more fully. And with each release, we return to something simple and true, our natural state of ease. Letting go does not mean losing everything. Often, it means finding what has been quietly waiting beneath the noise: clarity, calm, and a deeper connection to life as it is. If anything from these reflections has touched your heart, I'm grateful. These words are not instructions, but offerings, like stones beside a path. You may take what helps you and leave the rest behind. To those who have supported this channel with kindness, through likes, subscriptions, comments, super thanks, or by joining as a member, please know your presence is deeply appreciated. Your quiet encouragement allows this space to continue, and I thank you with sincerity. May your days be light, your heart be steady, and your steps be soft. And if you find yourself holding on too tightly, may you remember that letting go is always possible, even if only a little at a time. Thank you for being here.